So welcome everybody to Mental Health Awareness Week. My name is Zoe Sinclair and I'm the director and founder of This Can Happen. I'm delighted to be joined today by Dawn Kirk, one of our ambassadors of This Can Happen. Dawn, welcome to Mental Health Awareness Week. Where do we find you today?
Thank you, Zoe, and it's great to be here. So I am in my local park, my very windy local park today, and this is a place that I come every day at lunchtime with my dog Billy, just to really escape from I guess the electronic world that we live in.
Wonderful. Well, welcome, and let's see. Can we say hello to Billy today?
Yes, let me just see. I do have some treats in my pocket, so let me just see if he'll.
Let's see if we can see Billy.
Can you see him?
A little bit lower.
Oh,
Yay!
There we go.
Brilliant. Oh, thank you, Dawn. So you said, I think we've mentioned before that Billy turned 8 just very recently. So Billy and nature and walking has been part of your life for some time. Obviously, nature and the environment is the theme this year. And why has nature been so important for you and your mental health?
Yeah, so I think, as you say, Billy is now 8, and we've had him since he was 16 weeks old, actually. And I think if I go back 8 years ago when we first got him, I didn't realise that I had some of the mental health issues that I had at the time. So it's only probably 5 years ago that I ended up getting to a place where I just couldn't cope anymore. And what I would say is, I kind of went through some really tough times over a period of 3 years, and having Billy at the time, and I can now look back and realise and appreciate how much having Billy really just got me outside, because there were days when I was struggling with motivation and didn't want to go out and maybe didn't want to connect to people, and I had to a point isolated myself somewhat. And I think having a dog is great because they need you, and it's that unconditional love, and I guess that gets me out into nature. So even in the depths of winter, I have to take him out, and actually there's something really mindful about just walking in, whether it's in the cold, the rain, whatever the weather is, because it really brings you back to the moment. And I think for me, what that allowed me to do was just forget some of the things that I would say were making my head feel very busy, and just help me decompress a little bit. So I really, really value having Billy because it gets me outside, which is something that at the time I didn't always feel like doing.
So on that point, really, as a final point, Dawn, because thank you so much for sharing that, what do you say to the very common response, and I feel it a lot myself? I just haven't got the time to leave my desk and go outside. I've got this piece of work to do. I haven't got the time.
Yeah, I think, and I have those days as well, Zoe. I can always convince myself that I can't leave the piece of work I've got, but I'm really lucky because the organisation that I work for is really supportive of mental health and well-being in the workplace. So we are really, really encouraged to take that, and we call it a wellness break as opposed to a lunch break, because I guess from a timing point of view, 12 o'clock might not work for everybody. But it's a commitment I make to myself to take that 30 minutes. And some days, it's mid-afternoon, but I still make sure that I take Billy out for that 30-minute walk, because it really helps me just decompress and almost digest and congest the day based on what's happened.
Yeah, and the break is actually going to do more good for you than sitting at that desk, and you'll still get that piece of work done, I think.
Yes, and it gives me energy, because I think that's one of the things that fresh air and nature. I mean, I'm looking across the park now, a beautiful clump of trees, and it just, there's just something about connecting to the outdoors and the environment that I find really incredibly refreshing. And sometimes it's hard to explain to people what you can get from being outdoors in nature. But I mean, I would absolutely encourage anybody who is feeling, you know, quite frantic, quite frazzled, to just take a moment and just go for a walk, even if it's down your street, because you notice so many things, and you connect with, whether that's the, you know, the postman who I see on my daily walk. He's a lovely chap and he always says hello. I think I just get some sense of energy and motivation from that connectivity in those moments.
Dawn, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this subject, and really helping other people hopefully connect to nature if they haven't done already. So I would say happy Mental Health Awareness Week. Enjoy, Billy, and enjoy your walks, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Great, thank you, Zoe.